The Real Secrets of Men. Part 6.
Becoming the charming storyteller. Why is storytelling important to seduction? In my previous video, I mentioned the potency of telling stories to your date when the deathly silence descends upon both of you. Stories are powerful mental devices, and we humans are naturally inclined to listen and pay attention to stories because that's how social structure and culture are formed in social groups. This is the big difference between Homo sapiens and the rest of the ape species. We like transmitting more than our genes to the next generation. We're actually more preoccupied with keeping culture alive, and so we devised storytelling as a convenient way to do so. Circling back to dating, you too can use the power of storytelling to boost your seductive power. Seduction can be performed in a variety of ways, no doubt. However, storytelling and conversation are two of the most accessible and learnable skills that any man can master if he really wants to. The only thing you have to do is practice so that you can refine your new skills. The more you try your seduction techniques, the more you will understand how they work and why they work in the first place. It's also important to realize that not every date will be the same, and different women will have peculiar reactions to what you're doing. If I say that good conversation is effective, you may find yourself wondering why conversation isn't working with one of your dates. This is what I'm talking about. Not everything works all the time. The reality is that often, you have to gauge what type of approach is best for your date. How can you become a good storyteller? It's not true that storytellers are liars. When a person lies, he does so with the knowledge that he will get away with something, and he will probably harm at least one person in the process. Storytelling, on the other hand, often requires embellishment to make events more interesting. Unless you have a clear intent to harm your date, storytelling is harmless fun, and it's extremely effective in seducing women, too. Can't wait to become a charming storyteller? Start practicing with these guidelines in mind. Number 1. Mesmerize with eye contact. Making and maintaining eye contact is one of the most intimate things that you can do during a date. You don't need to have puppy eyes when you make eye contact. You need to be honest with what you feel so your body can clearly communicate your thoughts through eye contact. Trust me, your date will understand exactly what you mean. Also, try to maintain eye contact when you are telling your story. This helps keep you in a leadership position during a date and also helps engage your date. It's easy to make your story irresistible. Number 2. Show, don't tell. This is probably the oldest advice for storytellers. Show your audience what you mean, don't just tell them. There's a difference between saying that you saw a tree and you felt relaxed taking refuge in its gentle shade. Do you get what I mean now? It's difficult to engage your date if your story doesn't have juicy and exciting details. You need to make an effort to make the story pop so that your date will have no trouble understanding and experiencing what's happening in the story. Try to remember every detail of your story and embellish a little if you don't remember exactly what happened. You don't have to create a masterpiece from scratch, you just need stories that will keep the conversation going. You can actually shift from storytelling to ordinary conversation, depending on how your date is responding. For example, if your date has become so excited with the details of your story and she decides to share her own, then obviously you have to stop and listen to her own story. Things should fall into place naturally when you start telling your stories. Don't worry about the chronology, you'll understand what to do when you get there. Number 3. Reveal yourself through stories. The big difference between stories in novels and stories told during dates is that the latter should actually contain vital clues as to what kind of person you are. Why? Because women want to know who they are dating and why he should be considered a potential lover. So as you tell your stories, bear in mind that your date is waiting for signs that you are a suitable lover.
Introducing The Obsession Method by Kate Spring. Kate Spring, pictured in this video, is a relationship coach, YouTuber and best-selling author from Vancouver, Canada. She specializes in helping men from around the world win the hearts of women by mastering radical authenticity and female psychology. Kate's acclaimed online program, The Obsession Method, has sold nearly 100,000 copies and is widely considered to be among the best and most comprehensive men's dating guides on the planet. The Female Mind Control Handbook. To get your free ebook, click the link in the description below. Thanks for taking the time to watch this short video. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next video in this series. The Real Secrets of Men. Part 7. Arriving in the coming days.